Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to another amazing first episode of the Party Poopers. We're going to be sitting down with three of the most handsome fellows that we could find at Nerd Night News to go on a little adventure. We're going to be doing some real play Dungeons & Dragons 5e as we dive into Dragons of Stormreach Isle. Stormwreck Isle. See? But we're going to be putting a twist on it, so it could be Stormreach around, or whatever you want to call it at the end of this campaign. If you played this campaign before, you may notice a few changes here and there, hence the twist. We know that there are a ton of D&D options out there, so thank you very much for joining us. We'll promise to keep it entertaining and fun and lots of dad jokes and inappropriate humor, so it's fun for the entire family. Before we dig in, I want to introduce myself. My name is Terry Mayo. I will be the dungeon master for this campaign. And below me, Brady Bunch style.
You want me to do what?
Below me, Brady Bunch style, we have our three handsome, rugged, virile and viral adventurers. We have Freddie Packard, who's going to be playing a dragon-born cleric named Altos, the fresh baker. No? He's working on that all day. Damn!
I thought you said the bread maker.
I believe he does have frost breath. So
Okay.
It definitely took me a second to understand what you just said, and that was good. All right,
Thank you.
Everything's on delay right now.
I'm going to add in some laugh tracks over all my dud jokes. So it's going to be like, yes, finally.
hey, if it works for Big Bang Theory, it'll work for us.
There you go. We also have Mr. Eric Hampton playing a human druid named Ulfgrim Stormreaver.
Yarr.
Arr.
Yarr.
And another little twist that we're adding, we have Firewall Activated, aka Barney Greer, playing a character named Y4T2C.
Okay, well, in the bottom there, right there, it looked when you were setting up the way of getting into the thing, it said set a tagline. I didn't know the tagline was supposed to be my name.
You know what? You're going to go by Firewall Activated from now on. So
That's me, Mr. Activated.
Name not found.
So if you don't know who we are Nerd Night News, aka the Party Poopers when we're talking about D&D. Nerd Night News is a nerd culture website / YouTube channel, all that kind of fun stuff. I'm not going to ram it down your throat, but I will say if you enjoy what we're doing here, please give us a follow on one of those many social media type things. Firewall Activated. Is it time for us to get started with this game?
It's time.
It's time. All right. Well, without further ado, we will get started with our Party Pooper rendition of Twisted Fates. It's the best. It's the best. It gets people ready for fantasy. That's what's
Again,
important.
I wouldn't have done the if I had known we already had an intro. Rushing it.
All right. So this is episode 1. We did an episode 0 that kind of did a recap for us, or an intro for us, but I am going to recap that a little bit. We are in the land of the Sword Coast. You've been on a 4-day journey on a boat called the Wormwind. It's been commissioned by the Lord's Alliance. You've been hired by the Lord's Alliance to deliver a message to Runara, who is the guardian of Stormwreck Isle. The contents of this message is you don't know what it is, that you're not that high level. But you know it's very important. The hush-hush factor of this leads you to believe that it's pretty important. For whatever reason, you've all decided to accept this challenge, to get on this boat for this 4-day journey into what could be a suicide mission for you all, or just level up to level 3. We'll see what comes first. But the last time we left you guys, you were down in the bowels of the Wormwind, in the midst of a fever dream. Not a wet dream, but a fever dream. In through the door came your guide, Mr. Campola. Kampola opened the door and said, "Hey, it's time to set sail for Stormwreck Isle." And he looks at you guys. You guys are all shaking. It's like, "Hey, I'm not going to wait here all day. You either follow me up the stairs or you don't." And with that, he shuts the door and he kind of goes upstairs. As you start gathering your things and following Kampola upstairs, the first thing you see is that it's incredibly bright outside. As you start reaching that threshold where the stairs meet the horizon, you see what must be Stormwreck Isle in front of you. Large, jagged, looks like made from volcanic ash. Well, not millions, but many years ago. We'll say many. Anyone that's around you looking at you.
At least 4.
At least 4 years. It's been a hard 4 years. There was a pandemic in this land as well, so it doubled it, tripled it. Anyone that's around you can tell that it's instant daze as this bright flash hits your eyes and you make your way up to the main deck. What you see when you get your bearings again, you see Kampola by the edge of the boat, getting ready to getting rope together, buoys together, getting a pack together. Up toward the top of the ship, you do see 3 members that you know are of the Lord's Alliance. 2 of them you're fairly familiar with their names. The other one is a little bit of a mystery, but the human, there's 2 humans, 1 dwarf. The one human, probably in his mid-50s, full beard, rugged scars. He looks like an action hero if you've ever seen one. And he goes by the name of Sildar Hallwinter. You've never really met Sildar Hallwinter, but you know that you know who he is. You know that he's probably the one that's in charge of this mission. Next to him is a what you would assume to be some sort of magic user. You haven't got his name yet. It could be a Naro, but he really has stayed below. And this is the first time that you've seen him on the main deck. Large glass staff in his hand, wearing full red robes. But you know that he is a member of the Lord's Alliance just from the chatter that you've heard from the other deckhands. Next to them is this burly dwarf by the name of Gundren Rockseeker. You know Gundren. He's chummed around. He hasn't really stopped to talk to you guys, but he has, patted you on the back once in a while, kind of ribbed you in the side to get you out of the way, that kind of stuff. Friendly enough gentleman. Doesn't seem like he fits in with the Lord's Alliance, but he's Lord's Alliance nonetheless. The next thing you see is Gundren kind of shaking off, saying no. And then he's handed this scroll. The scroll looks like it has like these metal bearings around it, almost like a Chinese finger trap, if you've ever seen one of those. But it's rolled tight. I see where you're going with this, Olga. He takes it in his big meaty claws, and he's begrudgingly walking away from the other Lord's Alliance until he makes eye contact with you 3. And then he kind of brightens up his smile again, and he's like, "Hey, so I represent the Lord's Alliance, and I want to thank you 3 for volunteering for this mission. I am proudly going to be beholding this to you, but before I do, I need for you to know that this belongs to one person and one person only, and that is Runara. Runara, the guardian of Stormwreck Isle. No other person should touch this but Runara. Is that clear?" All right. With that, he hands over the scroll, and who would like to grab it?
I'll reach out and grab it. Thanks, Gundren, right?
Gundren, yeah.
Perfect. Why for? Do you mind taking this and holding on to it for me?
Directive confirmed. His chest receptacle pops open.
I'll place it inside and kind of like just whimsically look. Thanks, Gundren. Appreciate that. Any special directions on like is it make sure it doesn't like go into the wrong hands? Like, is this we don't open it?
Well, I mean, if you're able to open that, I mean, you're a better wizard than our chum that we have up there.
Zelda?
Just...
Zelda? Is that Zelda? Is that his name? His name's been escaping me.
Well, don't call him Zelda to his face. His name is Seldar. That's a world-renowned battle master. If you haven't heard of Seldar Hallwinter, then you've been living under a rock.
That's it.
Yes, it's Seldar.
Fair enough. I appreciate
So
that.
with that, Gundren just kind of slaps you on his back, and he comes up to about your chest. So it slaps you on your back, and he walks away. And he says, "Well, it was nice knowing you three." And he kind of exits stage left. Kampola is still standing, probably within about 3 to 6 feet of you, and he's getting his stuff ready, throwing it overboard to another pirate or sailor that's on the that's down in the shore on the rowboat. Hey, could you give me a hand over here? Says,
Directive not recognized. Unauthorized user.
What
I'll-
for? It's okay. It's okay. We can go help.
I'll just nod my head and go over and assist him. I'm skilled in ship riding, so I think that's making ships. Actually, I'm skilled in sailing ships. so-
ship riding. I've ridden many ships.
Yes.
Well, I don't know about you three, but I can't wait to get off this boat, get me some fresh air. So the sooner we get out of here, the sooner we get on with it. Are you ready? All right. Well, let's get this adventure started. Yeah. Starts lowering things down and getting all this stuff in there, and pretty uneventful. Transfer from the boat to the rowboat. It's something that he's done many times, and you feel like you're in pretty good hands. I mean, this guy looks like he has lived the pirate's life. That you would find him straight in Disneyland. He's that kind of guy. As you guys load onto the boat and he starts rowing, he says, "Well, I don't think that we've had a chance to really meet each other proper." And he's just covered in seaweed, covered in dirt. He looks like he probably smells, which is terrible. And being out on the ocean air is probably the first time in 4 days that you've had been able to take a deep breath without really feeling like you're going to gag, except for Y4. I don't know if you gagged or not. But
Running subroutine gag. Failure.
But my name is Compola. I am a master deckhand, setting sail on the Wormwind for the last, I would say, 4 or 5 years. Who are you?
Talking to me, or are you talking to Ulfgrim over here?
He just kind of is looking over his shoulder as he's kind of rowing. I'm talking to whoever will talk back, mate.
Well, I guess I'll go first. My name's Altos, and I am from Neverwinter, and I'm just here to help out, really. Do you want me to describe myself, or is this?
Yeah, go ahead
okay.
and illuminate us.
Yeah, so what everybody sees is a blue dragonborn with a blue, like kind of fedora hat, if you will, with a gold trim around it and a jewel on the front. And then he wears long blue robes that have like yellow trim on it. And then strung over his back is a mace and a shield. And he has a adventure pack that has a lot of books stuffed inside it, notes, paper, things like that as well. And yeah, my name is Altos Balhazar.
Altos, that's a strong name. I gotta say, you're the first dragonborn I've ever had the pleasure of rowing anywhere.
Well, there's not many of us in Neverwinter these days, so here I am.
Well, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be on the open sea with anyone, but let alone a dragon. And this must be such a big deal for you to be going to Stormwreck Isle. I mean, you must know the legend of Stormwreck Isle.
I know bits and pieces of it, if you'd like to refresh our memory.
Not really. Moving on to the human. What's your name, mate?
I've been staring kind of wistfully at the horizon where we're rowing, and then I kind of noticed that you're actually talking to me because I was kind of in my own zone, and then came to and I said, "Yar, the name is Ulfgrim Stormreaver. I feel at home on a ship, so journeying towards land gets me a little uneasy, but I'm sure I'll be fine. I'm what you see is a kind of stocky human, about 5'10", though he's sitting down, so you can't really tell. Like his, you know that he's dry because he hasn't been in the water, but somehow the leather like adorning him, this leather cloak, it just looks wet constantly. Not really sure what's going on, but he just kind of looks damp. And he has on his back a driftwood staff, so it's kind of wrought and driftwood and kind of wavy looking. Looks very simple though. There's really not much about him. He's got a large beard, and he's got very simple attire.
Yes, you're a man of the ocean. I could tell from when I laid eyes on you, and you're a handsome man. A handsome man at that. I can tell that you must have fun aboard ships.
I did, but looks. I drifted back. Yeah, I did, but looks didn't get me far on the boat.
Ulfgrim's blushing back there.
I forgot which voice I was using. Altos took my first choice.
Ulfgrim is even damper now.
No, just he's very damp all over.
And I'm afraid to even ask what this contraption is, but is this...
Designated unit Y4T2C.
Right. And what does it do?
The display lights up, and there's like a little thing that rolls, and it's like, meet your adventuring companion. You want to go on an adventure? Now you can, alone. And then it has a little picture of Y4 with a happy face. Y4 essentially looks like a round. Ever seen one of those security robots that kind of like roam halls?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kind of like that. So like a round, like spherical kind of shape. He's got two skinny arms with, right now, little clamps, but they change. He's got little changers like a Swiss Army knife whenever he needs to. The display is also a receptacle to store stuff. And he's got an all-terrain wheel that can also be changed out for other things, other like simple movement pieces, like a little jet, underwater jet, so he can move underwater. And right now he's sending a phishing email to Runara.
Okay, all right.
Phishing or phishing?
He's spamming her inbox, or...
Yep.
I'm gonna lean over to Kampola and say, I wouldn't trust this mechanical rolling trash can if I were you. It's unnatural.
Y4's eyes turned red.
I mean, I was going to say the same thing. I've traveled from here to the I'm using a different voice, to the Underdark, and I've never seen anything like this thing. Who does it belong to? Does it belong to itself?
I'm talking about Y4.
Well, yes, not the human.
Well, he's assisting me. The Historical Society of Neverwinter loaned him for the purposes of this venture.
He too is a handsome thing, but in a different way from Orphan, of course. If he is for sale, I would very much like to purchase him if you make it back.
They're rather expensive. I don't know if you're too familiar with the AC units, but usually it's the rich and wealthy that can afford them. I don't know how much gold you got.
Got it. I've worked my way around some HVACs, but never AC units, so we'll see. Thank you, Eric. Thank you. As he's rowing, you are seeing Kampola. Every once in a while, he'll throw over a little circular buoy, probably about 6 diameter. Throwing it over, it has like a little weighted hook on it, and it just kind of bobs. He starts to float over, and the next one he drops makes like a thud, like it hits something pretty close over. Who's in the very back of the boat, would you say?
Let's say I was at the front, just...
Y4's probably
looking
wherever
around.
Altos is, yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, then Altos and Y4, can y'all roll for, let's just say, perception,
Oh man!
as you're looking at the water? Yeah.
I got a +0. That's a nat 6.
All right.
I got a 7.
So,
Yeah.
so you heard the
My-
thud. You heard the thud. You're looking at the water, but it does look a bit grimy. I mean, you're seeing like a top layer of what looks like almost fungus or spores, but you can't really make out what this anchor must have hit. And Altos keeps rowing. Well, I didn't mean to be rude and cut you off, Altos, when you were asking about the island. I more than anything wanted to get to Y4 and learn a little bit more about this handsome devil next to you. But Stormwreck Isle. Legend has it, Altos, that your ancestors, I think they would be your ancestors, dragons. That they roamed this land long before man. And again, he's dropping buoy every once in a while as he's speaking. Another thud. And legend, rumor, whatever you want to call it. I call it legend because I've never seen a dragon that could do the things that they say these dragons did. But they inhabited this island. There was a great battle between the chromatic dragon and between the metallic dragon. Well, you must know all about chromatic dragons and metallic dragons, Altos, but perhaps your companions don't. But they don't get along. They're like oil and water, or whatever the saying may be. And they just went at it until there was this great battle. And ultimately the metallic dragons came out on top, wiped out all of the chromatic dragons. But the legend part is that the leader of the chromatic dragons fell to the bottom of the ocean and was entombed there when a volcano erupted and buried her down there. What happened to the metallic dragon, you may ask? I know you were about to. Her soul became one with the island and thus became Stormwreck Island. So the legend there is that any boat that gets close instantly becomes shipwrecked and one with the island. Scary stuff.
So just to clarify, you said that the chromatic dragon was buried at the bottom, and then the metallic dragon is now one with the island.
Yes.
And any ship that becomes what is sunk?
That gets too close to the island. I mean, you see the jaggedness of the rocks that stick up. I mean, only a fool would come here unannounced.
I've never heard of such an island, but what does it say over a small craft like this? I tap the side of the boat that we're on.
Well, it's funny enough you say that. I mean, I am quite a brave man, as you probably can imagine, and I have made this trip once or twice myself, but only on invitation. Sorry. Campola's been drinking this morning. Only on invitation have I come, and it's only to barter with the people. I've never been on the island itself. I've just pulled up, taken, and given supplies. Strange beings on this island. I've never even really caught eye of what they look like, but they don't exchange in gold. It's barter for barter. It's fish for leather. That kind of thing. If you can believe that there's actually even people who would not accept gold. Craziness.
Sounds like they hate metal.
Moving on.
I am made of brass. State-of-the-art brass plating, LED lights.
This is solid wood, baby.
Mahogany.
Campola keeps tossing over until you don't hear that thud anymore. So whatever was there, you're past it now, and it's you don't hear a thud. You are approaching the island a little bit. Where you've been floating has been relatively calm. Right now, you're able to see that what seems like almost unnatural, the way the waves are cresting and hitting each other, that doesn't seem to flow with nature. Hold on, boys. It's about to get rough. This is the fun part. And again, he starts steering with all of his might, pulling up to the next largest rock, and he just takes part of the buoy, or the line of the buoy, wraps it around, and hammers it to the rock. Moving on to the next one, hammers it to the rock, until he's making himself like a little pulley system guide to get to the shores. The closer you get, you see the largest hill that you see in front of you is about a good 100 feet tall, and it kind of titrates down. You see this narrow set of stairs that come down from 100 feet, 90 feet, 60 feet, 50 feet, until it gets all the way to the beach. You see openings of sand, and that's pretty much the only landing space you see. But the rest of it is jagged rocks, and it looks as though there would be no way to get to it except for this landing strip. And that's where you're headed. Thank you.
I'm glad. Thank you.
Kampola leads the craft to the beach. Gets out. He's like, "Well, are you going to help me pull this thing up?"
I join him in grabbing the rope.
Okay.
Oh,
Right.
the map changed. Nice.
Oh,
I will
are you
also
saying that
I will also assist with the rope.
Are we hitting land?
Not yet. Well, he is. He is. You guys are in the boat. Who is still in the boat?
I'm in the boat.
Okay. Do me a favor, Y4. One more time. Can you roll a perception? Just roll a perception.
That is a natty 1.
A natty 1. All right. So, almost out of nowhere, Altos and Ulfgrim have already exited the boat. Kampola is starting to pull the boat up. What you feel next is almost as if an unnatural force has pushed at the bottom of the boat and then pulled it down, almost as if it's on a string. Does it once, does it twice, until the back of the rowboat just kind of collapses onto itself. How heavy are you, Y4?
You can't just ask him that.
I think I'm like 80 pounds.
How thick you be? About 80?
Not that thick. I've seen thicker.
Okay, well, your rotund booty hits the water. You, as it falls out, you land cylinder down into the water.
You see sparks
Um,
shooting out of the back of him.
The tide is kind of pulling you in every direction at this point. Like I said, with the unnatural waves, it is slamming you against the rocks, slamming you against the rowboat.
He bobs out of the water and says, "No fins attached. Please assist."
I'm gonna hold out my hand, and I'm casting my cantrip Shape Water. So I'll hold out my hand, and I am going to choose an area of water that I can see in a 5-foot cube, and I'm going to change the flow of water to direct it towards us, so it'll essentially guide him towards the land.
Okay. All right. Nice. All right.
While he's being guided towards land, I'll make sure I run up and just check all his circuits real quick. And are you let me straighten this back in. Y4, open your component. Let's make sure that the scroll's still good. Oh boy.
I want like sand to pour out, and like it's like seashells and
Yeah, definitely a
starfish.
bunch. An entire fish.
I'll pick up the scroll. Does it look intact, DM?
Yeah, I mean, the scroll is still intact. It's almost as if it's been saran wrapped at this point, to where water is just unnaturally just flowing off of it, not beating up or nothing. They've done a good job on this. The rowboat, on the other hand, there's cracks. It's not going to be seaworthy, this rowboat.
Well, this definitely is going to pose a problem. I'll put the scroll back in Y4 and like a glove compartment or glove box in a car, like really push it in.
As you do so, yeah, there's like a bar that appears as the screen goes blank for a second, like a load screen, and then you see an image kind of distortedly kind of fade in, and it looks like a little bullywog with a cowboy hat. He goes, "Well, what's going on? Where am I?"
Y4, why are you talking like that?
Altos.
Yeah.
Altos Belazar.
Hey,
Ah.
Yes, wife. Or why? Again, I'll ask again. Why are you talking like that?
Who's Y4? My name is Designated Unit Y4T2C. Oh, that's not right.
You all right?
Altos. I'm fine. I'm feeling just a little foggy. Ulfgrim, thank you for the assist. Wave a mechanical hand. Oh, well, that's not right either.
That confounded thing. I feel like I should have let you sink to the bottom of the ocean. I don't understand you.
You shouldn't fear what you don't understand. It's okay. I'm awful frightened myself right now. And I'm just going to lean on Altos here for a second. A bunch of seawater comes out of his compartment.
Waffle, why has your voice changed, sir?
Altos, why did your voice change, sir?
It's infections.
I'm telling you.
I'm talking like a guy from Gods and Generals.
I feel like hitting the saloon. Let's go.
This is a cowboy campaign, right? I thought it was...
What is going on with you, Waffle? Why are you talking like that?
I'm not entirely sure, but I do know what we're doing here. Like I said, everything's a little foggy.
I'm gonna just take my. This isn't right. I'm just gonna pound his like a TV screen's kind of fog. I'm just gonna ding 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 on the top.
Stop that! I say stop that right now.
Oh,
but you're here to help me. Why for?
Yes, that's my primary directive.
I think your contraption's broken, Gaza. As you look over to the side, completely oblivious to what is going on.
Where's he going? Altos
you ran.
Hi,
Where that boy go? Where you getting to? Where y'all go here?
You see Compola maybe out of the corner of your eye as he is taking what he can that's been dumped into the water, and he's taking it ashore. If you follow him with your eyes, you see that he is transferring all of his stuff to another rowboat that happens to be on this shore. Completely not his rowboat. And it looks like it's about the size to fit maybe two small toddlers. But he is commandeering it at this point, is what you can tell. You see him as he's untying the rope with the buoys, and he's walking back over to that ship. Well, damn it. Let's start with my cowboy accent.
Yeehaw!
What's happening?
Everybody else had vaguely British voices, just in case they forgot.
Me. This is going to turn into a Western campaign.
Well, I'll say, I do resemble that remark.
With a foghorn leghorn.
You see Compola, and he's like, this is not the way I expected this campaign to go.
There we go.
Does Compola have a cowboy hat on now?
I don't know. That's vaguely British.
It's vaguely British.
With sprinkles of Western.
I see that you have the message. I'm taking this boat. Please tell the good folks of the Dragon's Reach I will bring it back, with some feathers or leather or whatever it is these people like. But I will bring it back. My apologies. And you see that he's loading as much as he can and kind of squeezing in as if he's like a big dad getting into like the teacups at Disneyland and just kind of starting to pull himself away. Good luck with your mission, boys.
Good luck, Capola. And honestly, I hope you come back with a bigger boat, because there's a 0% chance that I'll be able to fit in that.
So you see Compola as he's moving away. If y'all don't mind, I'm going to share the map. So where you're at, you're on the beach front of Dragon's Reach, or Dragon's Rest. Sorry. The boat that Compola took. Again, it doesn't look like it would fit a healthy 6-foot-tall human. How he got into it and how he's keeping it afloat mesmerizes you at this point, but he did say that he is an accomplished pirate and sailor, so nothing is impossible. As he starts to row away, let me just show you the direction. So down this path, if you can see the red mark, this is the direction towards the stairs that you saw as you're rolling up to the as you were rowing up to the island. The staircase looks like it's a pretty good trek, but not an impossible one. What would you guys like to do?
Well, I always knew that man was lily-livered at best. Look at him retreating as we're on this island, and I believe that he was part of this mission as well, but, well, we came here to do a duty, so let's get on with it. Are you going to have trouble with those stairs? I stare at the robot.
I don't believe I will, Mr. Soggy Bottom Boy. And he rolls on up one of the stairs. It takes him a second.
I whisper under my voice, damn! I keep walking.
So, let me get y'all's marching order just real quick, just so I can get a good feel of who's where.
I'll take the back.
Y4's taking point, I suppose, to prove a point that stairs are no match for him.
Y4, you dastardly man.
So I guess it'd be Y4, Alfgrim, and then me.
Okay, so the entrance is towards this way. So Y4, are you over here? Yeah, there you go. Okay, all right. Before you're able to get too far up the stairs, what you do hear coming from the water, if you were to glance behind you, you would almost think it was Kampola making his way back, or Kampola sinking, or something like that. But what you do see instead are these guttural-looking beasts that are emerging from the water. One of them has a bit of the rowboat stuck into his sternum. They look like at one point they could have been gnomes, but they've been submerged in water for at least 2 to 3 weeks. They are wearing tatters of sailors' clothing, and they do see you, but they are a good distance away. I think that 2 of you speak Gnomish, right? Or understand Gnomish? No,
yes.
I think Y4 and Olgrim. They're not really speaking, and you may be able to hear something that in Gnomish is like, and it sounds kind of like Harpy, like Harpy, Harpy, Harpy. But that could just be coincidental. Either way, they are coming your way. What would you like to do?
Fellas,
real quick, DM, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Harpy, as in, like, the name Harpy, would that have any relevance to anything?
Well, it wouldn't mean anything to you because I don't think you speak Gnomish, do you?
No. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Never mind.
You gnome nothing, all right?
fellas, it looks like we have company.
Oh, Jesus.
I fucking love Y4.
I'm still very much thrown off by you right now, Y4. That you have not been talking like this.
Where's my gun, Altos?
Gun?
Yeah, where are my pistols?
I'm not very certain, Y4, where your pistols are. And I don't know why I keep I'm catching on to your accent, and it's become more contagious by the minute. So can you revert back to the Y4 I knew for the last 2 weeks?
I don't think that's gonna happen.
All right, as they're chit-chatting, I want to cast Shillelagh.
Okay.
And
All right.
I'm going to lift my driftwood staff above my head, and it starts looking even more oceany, like seashells and shit start pouring out of it. It like looks like a mace, but made of like ocean shit.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
starfish
cool.
maybe.
All right. And what
Another
do you do?
fish
Another
pops
fish.
out of my chest. Goes to his lap.
Yeah, why don't I run forward and smack one of these bitches?
All right, with your shillelagh spell.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this will be the first move, and then after that, we'll roll for initiative. Carry on.
Carry on my way.
Oh, does that hit? Of course it does.
What did you get up? Sorry, I didn't see.
Oh, I rolled a 24.
I think you got it.
Yeah,
You got through his AC just barely.
I think it hits. All right, I'm gonna hit him for 9 damage.
Okay. All right. All right, and with that, I'm going to start the encounter, and we can roll for initiative. First one of the game. As you hit them with your magical spell, the shillelagh, knocking seaweed out of this gnome's ear, the zombie gnome. The last thing you hear him say is "Harvey" as he comes back around to you and just looks at you with his dead eyes. He took a hell of a blow, but he's still standing. First up in initiative with a mighty 23 is Ulfgrim Stormreaver with Altos on deck.
All right, let's give that guy another smack.
Okay.
That is a 22 to hit. I assume
Yeah.
that does. Damn, I'm rolling well. And 8 damage.
8 damage. Okay. All right, another mighty hit on the same one, right?
Yes.
Okay. Was that another shillelagh spell or just a hit him with your club?
Shillelagh.
Shillelagh.
Yeah.
All right. Another magical hit with your shillelagh. Again, the seawater just almost looks like it depresses his skull to the point where half of his head is sunken in. But again, he just kind of turns with his one dead eye now and looking at you. Not really speaking at this point, but you do see the blood and the water mixture flowing from like open crevices in his head that you created.
If he could say, he would say harpy.
He would, but you've taken the words from you took his breath away.
Stop.
All right, anything you can do or want to do?
No. I don't
Okay.
want to do anything.
All right. Altos, you are up.
Alright, so I'm going to walk up. Well, if I must hit one of them, I guess then here we are. I'll just kind of pull my mace out from over my shoulder and almost like a golf club, I'm just going to kind of come up right underneath the chin of the one in the middle. So I'll walk up right here. And then actually, yeah, right there. And then I'm going to hit this one right. How do I click to show you?
The middle one?
There you go. Yeah, that one right there.
Okay.
And I will roll with my mace. That'll be a 17 to hit.
All right, you hit him clean. Let's roll for some damage.
All right. So swing with my mace up, and that'll be 4 damage, and I'll just kind of come up right underneath the chin.
Okay. All right, with your mighty... Does your mace have spikes on it or anything like that, or is it just a heavy ball? Or describe your mace to us.
It has a blue and gold leather strap around the base of, or the shaft, if you will. It's a very nice shaft. And then it goes up to the top, and then the top has like engravings, more like hieroglyphics, if you will, of different like a language that you might not recognize unless you speak Draconic. And there is 4 spikes, so you have one at the top, 2 on the side, and one kind of not at the bottom because that's where the shaft is, but like jetting out just slightly from the shaft.
All right, man, you put a lot of shafts in that, and a lot of...
It's also bedazzled.
Yeah. All right, well, you hit this this gnome zombie with the edge of it that was meant for pleasure, right underneath the chin. Boom, knocking him back. Little bitty fish flying out of what's left of his hair, and he just kind of recoils back, and what you hear as he's reaching out towards you, because you are within reaching distance, is this guttural Harvey. Anything else you can do or want to do, bonus action or move?
I will actually. What everybody's gonna see right now, my eyes are gonna turn bright white, and my head's gonna snap back, and I'm gonna cast Shield of Faith, and you'll hear. You see me reach into my bag for a little piece of parchment, and let me make sure I do that. Small parchment with a bit of holy text that's written on it, and I'm going to shout out, "Protect me," but in Draconic, and then this orb kind of goes around me.
All right. All right. So that Shield of Faith just imbues you, you holy beast, you. All right. With that, it is the middle gnome's turn. After recoiling from his pleasure tap to the dome, he is reaching back out to you, Altos, and he is going to try to attack. If my dice will work with me. Come on. And he gets... Take your time. Oh, I rolled 2 instead of 1. We'll take the... Well, they're both the same number. 10 plus... or minus, and 11 to hit.
Does not hit.
Okay. All right. What you just see is this gnome reaching for you and just kind of sliding down your body as you kind of do your wiggle dance on him. He is, if he could keep approaching you, he would. But he is seriously encroaching upon your personal space right now.
Bro.
Next up is the gnome that is closest to Ulfgren. The one that,
Yar.
This guy looks pretty bad, but he is reaching out towards you with the overhand claw. And does a 5 hit. Or sorry, 7 hit.
To my AC?
Mm-hmm.
That is a... you gotta try better than that, bud. Come on.
Tap him on the head. Oh, you're cute. Look at you.
Oh, stop.
Look at him trying.
Oh.
Okay. He is again crouching in your space, and he's just if these gnomes could try to get inside of you, they would. Y4, you are up.
Slippery bastards. Y4 reaches for his gun, but does not find it, and so instead, he holds up his claw and goes, "That's not right," and it shoots down. Out comes a knife, and then it shoots down again, and out comes a tiny little crossbow. He's going to use a short bow attachment, and he says, "Ulfgrim, look out!" Fire.
All right, which one are you aiming at there, Y4?
I have to click on it.
The middle one, or
that one over yonder.
Over yonder.
Over yonder. Okay, all right. I think there's a big enough gap there.
Jesus. Does an 11 hit?
An 11 does hit.
Oh, exciting.
Level 1 encounters, man.
Does a 2 hit? Yes, it does.
That's gonna be 6 piercing damage.
6 piercing damage. Imbued with anything, or just straight steel on you?
Just a shot to the heart.
Shot to the heart.
And you're to blame.
You give love a bad name.
What you see is this gnome take this arrow straight to the chest, recoils, goes down to a knee, and then just kind of looks back up. You all feel that should have been a killing blow right there, a killing death. But this zombie...
I've still got my movement, so I'm gonna move a couple squares to the side, trying to put this rock in between us, and I'm gonna throw a sea star at Altos and say, "Get out of there, son!
Get out of there, son!" God, I love you. All right. Next up is the untouched gnome, and on deck is Ulfgrim. Untouched gnome is going to move up. I got too many computer screens going. I'm confusing myself. He's moving up, and he's kind of blocked by this rock a bit, but he is kind of reaching out to you and sorry, that's Altos, and striking down if he can at your lower legs, with does an 8 hit you, Altos?
No.
Oh, damn.
So
All right. In disappointment and this urgency to just rip you to pieces, this gnome is pissed off and just hitting at the rock, clawing, just trying to get to you, nudging the other gnome that's been there so that he can just bite you. But that is his movement. Ulfgrim, you are up. And Altos.
All right. I'm gonna shout as it comes to me, and I've hit this guy twice with what I felt were pretty strong attacks, and I just saw him get speared through the heart, and Y4's to blame. I yell out, I think there's some otherworldly magic that is powering these demonic creatures. I think it's best us to turn heel and run. And I'm gonna cast Entangle.
Ooh. Okay.
And yeah, just it automatically succeeds. I'm gonna cast it here. Why can't I ping? Cast it here.
If you long hold the just long hold.
I cast it there. So within a 20-foot radius of this part, right there.
Okay.
right there. So what you're gonna see is out of the ground are octopus tentacles that come out from seemingly out of the ground, and they're grabbing at each of the zombie gnomes. And I'm not going to disengage. I'm just going to straight up run this way. So do I provoke an attack, or I guess they have to succeed strength saving throws unless they're entangled.
Yeah. I'm going to roll, and I also want Altos. UI4, you're not over there. I would like Altos. Can you do me a favor and roll a dexterity saving throw for me?
Oh, it is any creature.
Roll to 16. Roll to 16. Roll
Okay.
to 16. Get my force back.
All right. In your Rolodex of memory, Y4, you were familiar enough with seeing some sort of incantation like this before, but it's normally been like vines or some sort of plant that's like entangling someone tightly. But that's not what you see here. You do see that it's more like these nautical like tentacles that are wrapping around these gnomes. One tries to reach out towards Altos's legs, but Altos is just too quick, and if you would like to, Altos, you're able to move back. Or you could stay there and join the gnomes. It's up to you. What happens to the gnomes you can see you can see that the gnomes are being pulled down into the sand, and then as they're being pulled into the sand, they're being pulled back out into the ocean. So you see just the zombies clawing at the sand to come, or to try to stay where they're at, and just a hand just detaches from the middle zombie, and the hand is the only thing left there as the other zombies are taken back out to the ocean. And you are out of initiative.
In this moment, what you guys see is the shield is still like this white energy shield, if you will, is around Altos. His head snaps back and his eyes go from being like just pure white to the color, the bright blue coming back, and he's just kind of like almost like in a glass box of emotion, like touching the shield. What in the world is this? And then the shield dissipates and he just looks at his hands. What the hell just happened here? And then he shakes his head. Oh, God. All right, well, let's keep moving. Why don't we get up these stairs like we should have done in the first place?
I want to walk towards the ocean kind of quickly. I'm going to touch the water as kind of the waves are lapping in. And you just see Ulfgrim expressing almost like a form of reverence towards it. Kind of gathers himself and then he walks back.
Okay.
Y4 brushes the starfish off of Altos's leg that he had thrown at him.
I heard you throw a star, but I'm like, what did he throw?
Throwing starfish.
Dude's a cowboy ninja.
Like a ninja star.
Throwing starfish.
Okay.
That could be a class. I mean, if you're like a Triton or something.
Y4, is there any reason that you would have trouble making it up these stairs, you think?
I don't see any reason why I'd
Okay, all right. The stairs are steep, but they're not overly like cumbersome. I mean, it's a moderate hike, but it's not impossible to make. The hike itself is probably a good 15 minutes of just kind of following this winding path all the way up until you reach this crest. And the first thing that you see is this, it has to be 20 to 30 foot tall statue of, the statue is shining, almost abnormally shiny, of what you can assume is a human. The closer you get up to the top of the cliff, you see that it's a stone statue, marble perhaps, with 7 canaries that are kind of just transfixed onto it. Not magical, at least as far as you can tell, but it is very pretty. As you start making your way up there, you do see that there are a smattering, it's a nice word to use, of little lizard / dragon looking creatures that are kind of poking their head out of these hovels that have been dug into the side of the cliff. If you're counting, you can see there's about 6 rooms that are carved out on the left, and about a 10 foot to 15 foot in different areas pathway. And then on your right, a steep fall all the way back down to the ocean. And it's about 30 foot drop at this point. But you made it to the top. You see 2 small kobolds. But in all of your travels, you haven't seen a kobold that is as nicely dressed or their mannerisms as refined as this. I'm assuming. The 2 kobolds that are there turning around, looking, speaking to you, they have rags in their hand. You can tell that they've been polishing this marble statue. And then the smaller of the 2 makes her way towards you and just greets you with a nice curtsy and says, "Greetings, ambassadors. I assume you come from the Lord's Alliance."
Yar, you assume correctly.
Aye. And I trust that your travels went well and the message is secured in your personage.
Altos, tell him we got it.
Yeah. So the we're good to go. Can you just point us in the direction of Runara?
It would be my pleasure to guide you to Runara. Behind her, you can see again these little lizard / dragon things sticking their head out of the hovel, kind of chattering amongst each other. This is the highlight of their day, if not their week, to see you guys here. The companion that she had with her transfixed on you, Y4, and just kind of examining you. The other kobolds that you see, and there's probably about 6 or 7 here right now, are pretty transfixed on you, Altos.
Don't get visitors often.
Well, I can say that we don't get Dragonborn often, so this is a treat.
Oh, what's so special about it?
Well, you would know. I mean, it's our dream when we pass on to the next life that we transform into a Dragonborn. So, it is an honor to have you with us, Altos.
It's not everything it's cracked up to be, but I appreciate it.
Well, if you will all follow me, and again, my name is Mila. I am the caretaker of the Island Library. My brother Blep and I, and Blep kind of runs up, and the first thing he does is reach out to you, Y4, just to kind of feel your body.
Hungry little fella. I open my chest and pull out another fish. And I try to throw it into his mouth.
All right. This kobold and pulls it out and like looks around confusingly and kind of drops it on the ground. But what are you?
I'm a automated companion designated unit Y4T2C.
Mila just slaps Blep on the back of the head. But forgive my brother, he's not the smartest of them all. But if you'll join us, Blep and I, well, actually, Blep, you stay here. I will be your guide through to see Runara, if you don't mind. Do you need anything that I can direct you to, or are you just straight to Runara?
Runara, please. We have something that's very important. Yeah.
We do have a hovel that we've prepared for you. It may be cramped, it may be tight, but I'm sure that it will be more than acceptable for you.
Well, Ulfgrim sure loves a hovel, doesn't he? Give him a nudge.
Yar, I've stayed in many a hovel and more than enjoyed myself in quite a few.
You are all interesting.
He didn't sound very happy about it, but he loves it.
No, I love a hovel, especially when it's been so, lovingly put together. He kind of like,
and I'm sure they have a lovely abode for us. You got rose petals on the beds and such.
Well, no, but you can tell that the kobolds, all of this is just going right over their head. Every word you're saying is genuinely true to them.
They're just
and sarcasm is lost on them.
Can I ask you, though, does it have view of the sea?
Mila turns right to, well, yes, the hovel, you can pick any of these 6 that are here. We'll be glad to clear them out, but the one we have is the one directly across from our beloved statue here of our founder. Mupo, move along. And the little dragon, or the little kobold moves out of the way. This will be your lodgings while you're here.
What's your founder? What is the name of your founder?
I was hoping you would not ask. The 1 second. Well, I look at. Well, I remember. Mila has a bad memory.
Yes, the founder. That sounds familiar.
Can you
Let me just
believe
read this placard.
This entire establishment was founded by 7 canaries.
It was actually 3 kobolds dressed as a dragonborn, standing on each other's shoulders in a long cloak.
That's why the statue's so edged.
This is our founder, John Smith, and he. This is Shagram. Shagram. Not to be confused with Chakram, but this is Shagram. 1 second while I write that down. Yes, he.
My heart hurts.
Altos, how you feeling? You going back to your roots? I didn't know you used to be one of these cute little fellas.
Now tell me.
I didn't know. I did not know either, to be honest with you, Y4.
Now tell me, Mr. Kobold, did you make that up on the second? Did you?
Why, I obviously am very much a lady. And no,
what year? What year?
We're talking to Blep.
What year? Yes, thank you for asking that as well. If I had known there was going to be a pop quiz, I would have studied a bit harder. But from what I understand, and of course I wasn't alive back then, but that was a good 1,000 years before the sight of man.
Y4, can you make a note of this Shagrum and And what year was the 1,000 years before man? See, my business is history, so that's the reason why I'm curious to know.
Why would I ever do such a thing? He's already scribbling.
So shows Shagrim in
Oh, what
1,000 years
the-
before man. Do you know precisely what year was this before the what year did man show up?
Do me a favor and roll for history to see if you know this.
Do me a favor.
You
roll
just
for a
load it
British
into my
accent.
cassette tape and do the British accent.
I rolled a 19.
Wow.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Without losing a beat, Mila says, "Well, that was clearly information that I don't have, but but I do know that it's information that I could find in our library, in our island library. If you would like to check out books checkout's not the right word, but if you would like to peruse any of our books, you're welcome to, but you cannot remove them from the library. But the answer that you seek, I'm sure you will find in there, Altos."
Oh, that would be great. Wildford, do you mind accompanying me to said library? Maybe we peruse around, I think is what he said.
Of course.
And once again, I am very much female. So Mila is walking down this path and kind of guiding you. The other kobolds, again, chattering as you walk by. Blep following, but far enough behind so that maybe Mila won't see him, but she definitely knows that he's following.
I think he wants another fish.
As you walk down this winding path, it starts getting narrow to where it's about probably 5 to 7 feet wide in different spots. And it is as it's starting to elevate. So going from about 30 feet to 40 feet, 50 feet up, as you're kind of hugging the side of the wall, you do see Mila making her way until you come to this storeroom. And Mila points to it and says, "This is our winch house." And you see, winch. You see a
Winch.
large winch house. Yeah,
A winch.
winch, winch.
Got me excited.
I'm sorry. Not. This isn't that kind of cloister.
Oh, but I've got so many oysters.
You see this large human, ebony skin, white hair, patch over one eye, muscles upon muscles, and then scars upon scars. You can tell that she has lived quite a life. Probably a good 6 feet tall human, maybe in her mid 60s, but she is extremely built, and she's just working. She's working this winch. And she does have a little kobold with her who is kind of putting tiny little packages and barrels of dried leaves and spices and herbs onto a platform. Mila, this is where we do most of our bartering. We trade with others upon the island. Believe it or not, we're not the only inhabitants of Stormwreck, but we are the only active village that you may be comfortable in. The other ones are more, what's the word? Primitive? And then she kind of just keeps walking. She leads you past a dining hall. You see another human in there, probably in his mid-50s. He's human, long beard, long hair. The thing that sticks out to you the most is he just has these tattoos that go around his rib cage, up to his neck, onto his forehead. I mean, he looks like he has seen some things in his time as well. Not as strong looking as the human female, but definitely he's seen some action in his days. This is Tarak. He makes most of our meals. He's the newest member of our village, but he makes a mean mushroom and fungus soup. We eat 5 times a day. So, and the dining hall is always open. So anytime you would like to eat something, it is more of like home style. Come and help yourself. And then Tarak cooks those 5 times a day, and then those are hot meals. We are a vegetarian society, so we don't really partake in meat. Although I know Tarak, he does enjoy the fish and squid from time to time. But that we don't stomach that here. She continues on. You see, what you do notice is that every room that you passed so far, the six that from the hovels that you first saw, the winch house, the dining hall, none of them had doors. So it is kind of that open kind of society. As you come to this next room, this is
the other ones are primitive, huh?
I know, right?
No doors?
Wait till you see those.
She had muscles on her scars, on her muscles. It didn't make any sense to my eyes.
To your ass. The exception to this no door policy of Dragon Rest is this next room. Mila points to it and says, "This, of course, is our sacred library. This is where we keep our text. This Altos. This would be where you would find the information that you seek. Why for? I don't know. Read? I don't know. Ulfgrim, it is darker in there because we have a door, so if you would like to brood in there, you may. And unless you...
Just a dark room.
I brewed near the sea, thank you very much.
Oh,
That's
very good.
it's
I should
perfect.
never-
It's perfect for it's perfect for reading dark rooms.
So you've passed the hovels, you passed the winch house, you passed the dining hall and the library, and Mila looks at you and says, "So Runara, something you should know about Runara. She is a great woman. She's been here for many, many years. She teaches us everything that we need. She provides for us, but she also protects us. I would ask that you please be kind. That is what we are to each other. And if you need anything, please don't hesitate to ask. But with Runara, speak directly and speak from your heart, because she will be able to tell if you do not." And then she kind of walks towards this pathway that leads another 20 feet up into the air. And what you see is this large temple setting. Everything along this path has been like dirt. It's been carved into the hillside up until this point. When you get to these next set of stairs, you can see that the stairs are more shiny, like that statue was at the beginning of the gentleman with the canaries. Shargoth, I think, is what I said.
Shagrim was the founder.
That's what I said. That's exactly what I said. The stairs are shiny marble. That the path, even though it's 5 feet, there is a bit of a bridge or a fence structure that you can kind of lean on if you needed to,
Really?
until you get to the top, and you see Runara. Runara is.
Away.
Runara turns, "Greetings. I'm Runara now." Greetings. I trust that you have a message to deliver to me.
Your trust is not misplaced. I nudge my dragonborn companion.
Yes. Let me grab that for you. Wifo, do you mind?
Somewhere.
I'm gonna like push on his breast.
The back pops open. Some more starfish fall out.
I look over my shoulder. Oh, not that side. And I pull it back in, and I pull. Can you just open your front? Wifo?
I don't know what you're talking about. And then the scroll just goes and then rolls out.
Thank you. And I just grab it and I look. I'm like, I don't know what is getting into you. And
You rascal.
Why for?
Oh,
Darn it.
I've done it again.
I take off my hat and I walk up to her. Now, here you go, madam.
So she extends her hand out, and
I'll take his hat.
I don't know what your. Do me a favor and go ahead and roll for Arcana, just for tickles. Let's see what you get.
All of us, or any of us individually?
Altos. He was the one that was handed the scroll, right?
That would be a 14.
14. Okay. Okay. It's not to the point where you would be able to decipher exactly what kind of spell this is, but you can feel that there's some sort of vibration, not just in your hand at this point, but kind of all the way down your legs to your feet, as this transfer of the scroll goes to Runara, and it is almost as if it's electrically charged. I don't know if you want to roll for orgasm, but just kidding.
Hey yo!
And it's just turned into that kind of game.
And roll for completion.
Somehow Life 4 blushes.
Yeah. This electric charge, you do see like little sparks that come from Renara's fingertips as she takes the scroll from you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. As she holds it, you can see that she just bows her head for a while. She bows her head as she's holding it, and you can see that the metal springs from the scroll just start to unfold, almost as if it's like crab legs that are opening up, until she can unroll the scroll and start reading it. And she's reading it to herself.
Do you need a flashlight?
She rolls it back up. She leans down.
I think we're in the dark room.
Yeah, leans down, speaks to Mila, hands the scroll to Mila, and then Mila runs off with the scroll. Thank you again for bringing this message. Do you have any idea what was written there?
They told us not to open it, so not entirely sure.
All right.
We are men and mechanical constructs of our word.
That you are. I've got that good feeling about you all. I have a conundrum. What the Lord's Alliance is asking me will take some time to collect from our vast library. I would guess perhaps at least 3 nights. You are welcome to stay here for these 3 nights. I would not dare send you out to only make you come and return. Mila and the others have set up a hovel for you to adjourn in. We were anticipating possibly 1 night, but it does seem like you will be with us for at least 3.
Yeah, we don't have a boat.
You don't have a boat. Well, we do have one that I don't know if you would fit in it, all of you, but at least one of you could. But we can cross that bridge when we get there. The message that I will ask you to take back to the Lord's Alliance and Sir Hallwinter is of great importance. And again, I will ask for discretion. In exchange, you have free reign of Dragon Rest. You may go as you please. You may eat amongst us as you please. And then on that 3rd night, you may leave as you please.
It will please us.
And I would be pleased to leave on a boat that would fit me.
Well, we have many capable people here. Perhaps if the Lord's Alliance does not send one that will fit you, then I'm sure we could craft something.
That sounds fair.
You make us a boat. That's awesome.
We are very handy. We live off the land.
Well,
Now,
thank you for your kindness.
Now, if
Sorry,
you could tell me,
what was that, Ulfgrim?
Yar. Now, if you Yar, I gotta say Yar to get myself actually my own accent. Because Runara, can you tell me what else occupies this here island here? Because 3 days staying in one spot, I'm not much of a landlubber myself, so I would appreciate maybe taking a hike, maybe enjoying a little bit of the leisurely island lifestyle. But what else occupies this here isle?
The Runara again. She doesn't seem to register much of her face has stayed stoic. Even when she was reading the note, there's been no change. deflection or anything like that. No change in her tone. It's been flat across the board, and that is kind of what you're getting from Runara. It's just calm.
Sounds like women with me in the bar. Am I right? Hey yo.
Hey yo.
Heyo.
Well, young man, the island is full of many mysteries. The wife, or did you have something you would like to say?
No, I was gonna ask if we could roll like an insight check to see if she was shook by the letter or not.
Yeah, you can roll an insight, but I didn't. It broke up. I wasn't sure what you wanted to check for.
If she was shaken by the letter.
Got it. Yeah, go ahead.
My insight's not great, and I haven't been rolling very well. But
It's an easy roll.
what? Yeah, a dirty 15.
Dirty 15. Okay. All right. Again, there you could see no change in anything. With that roll, I can say that Mila seemed a little bit more agitated than she had been when she was giving you the
It's probably because she didn't get any fish, and her brother Blep did.
Yeah, I mean that's clearly what it was. The island itself is home to many inhabitants. There are the Makadids to the south. They are probably the next largest gathering of inhabitants on this island. Their leader is not a Makonid, but he is good as well. Tarak, our cook, he travels there often. I can say that we haven't been there in about a week because their leader Senessa has not allowed our entrance, which is out of the normal, but I assume that things will open up again soon.
Is Senessa human, or is she kobold?
Senessa is what you would call a spawn of the sea.
A seaman.
Humanoid at one time.
That'd be first for me. Ulfgrim, are you familiar with these spawns of the sea, seeing as
He's like deep in thought, kind of like looking down and thinking, and then he kind of glances at you and kind of shakes his head.
Well, if the next time Tarak goes down there, if again they've been restricting our movement down in their cave system, which is where they dwell, but they have these delightful fungus that they give us that Tarak is able to mix into a stew and feed us. He's also able to make healing potions from them, of which we barter our wares that we need. So I do hope that the cave system opens up again soon. To the north, I would stay away from the north for now. It seems as though our friend Patty, well, there's a story there, but Patty the owlbear has been roaming the land there. So even the kobolds stay away from the north for right this minute. Most of the creatures that you would find on the Sword Coast, you will not find here. Kobolds. There are other groups of kobolds, but they are what the others call savage. They do not believe in our ways, but they do stay on the island, and we do them no harm. They do us no harm, but we are separate. Yes. Besides Patty, the Makonids, the kobolds, that's pretty much what you will find on this island.
Your associate here told us that you taught all these kobolds and protect them, and what makes, I guess, these your kobolds? Did they come to you? Did you just find them in this area? Were they savage when you first met them, or how did they change?
Well, there was no change. It's just like any civilization. Is if you give love, you get love, as Paul Abdul said. And that is what this village is about. It's about love and about giving and about rebirth.
Perfect.
You are safe in Dragon Rest. I cannot guarantee safety outside of Dragon Rest, and it is not my place to interfere outside of Dragon Rest. But with that being said, I will join Mila in the library. We will make haste with getting the supplies for Sir Harwinter, and that way you can return to the safety of the Sword Coast, as it were, as soon as possible. Again, do with your day as you like. And with that, Runara leaves without really saying goodbye, without making eye contact. She Irish goodbyes you.
Rude. Where does she exit to?
Down the path that y'all came.
Going to the library.
Yeah, from what you can tell, that's the only exit from what you can tell.
And we're basically, it's us three alone in this room right now? Or is Myra here?
Mila left as well. She left with the scroll earlier.
All right, I'm going to do a quick visual pat down on the premises.
Okay. Are you looking for anything specific or just in general?
I'm just trying to see what the heck is going on here. I want to see, I guess, and this may be an Arcana check instead of investigation, though I do want to investigate and see if there's anything that this BZ is hiding, because I don't understand really what's going on with her. But she does seem like she is, I want to see, I guess, what's going on, if there's something that is hidden. Out of place.
Out of place. Okay. All right. Then why don't you go ahead and roll for investigation, since that's I think that's probably what you're leaning towards.
Oh!
God damn.
Nice.
I got a 47. Is a 47?
My D&D Beyond is broken because it keeps giving me good rolls. Normally it's like at 2. How do you like that, huh?
What did you get?
I got a 26 and a
26.
natural 20.
Okay. You're seeing that these
Eagle Eyes Elfgrim, that's what they call me.
Damn.
I know, right? And it's not even the water. It's not the ocean.
That's 2.
But I feel its presence. It's basically the ocean.
What you see is it looks like this was definitely man-made. It looks like it has been well taken care of. With your investigation, you can see that the statue that is in the middle of the room, it's similar to the statue that you first came in, but it's kind of one of those optical illusion things where as you walk around it almost seems as if the canaries are moving a bit. So like in the Haunted Mansion, it looks like the eyes are following you, that kind of illusion. Tall, about 15-foot marble pillars surrounding the edges. It is open so that you can look down.
So this isn't her living quarters. This is like
this is a temple. So
the temple.
yeah, you're seeing that this is more of a religious thing. The only thing that is not clean would be right at the base of the statue, and it looks like it's been worn by like hour after hour after hour of someone on their knees praying to the statue.
This statue is the founder. Is that correct?
Yes.
Same person.
Same person.
Charbroiled.
Shagran, straight from D&D 5e. Shagran.
And Shagran is human, right?
Yes, the statue's human.
Oh, the kobolds are worshipping a human?
The kobolds are worshipping the Shagran, yeah.
What?
And is there anything anything unique about the statue, or is it definitely just a statue where people are worshipping?
With your investigation, you're not seeing anything that sticks out with you, but I would like for someone to make a history roll.
That'll probably be me.
I can also roll history.
If someone wants to make a history and someone wants to make a religion, I'm down with y'all splitting that.
I rolled a 15 for history.
Okay, an 11 for history.
Take it away.
Okay. The history that you know, and again, this is more specific to your lineage and your expertise in this field. You're aware that for Bahamut, The legend is that Bahamut was able to transform into a human figure, and it's written down in lore that a telltale sign of Bahamut when he/she is in human form is that there's 7 canaries that represent the 7 different metallic factors.
That's cool.
And there, just if I know on my own, maybe separately, is there 7 chromatic as well?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I'll just pocket that. Anyway,
Why 4? Did you notice anything strange with our guests at all?
Well, they didn't eat the fish that I gave them so kindly, so that was awful rude. But yeah, everyone seemed kind of off so far. What's your
That's the
reason?
first thing-
Are you
That's-
is Ulfgrim like looking through like incense and stuff? Because you said you were.
I was kind of like picturing, you know, like taking a hand to where the knees had laid, and then like kind of almost seeing if the statue would jiggle at all, and just being, no respect for these people's religion at all.
Break a fucking canary off.
Oh, I thought they were live canaries.
Looks like we're dealing with just a temple. You know, it's probably a reason they probably didn't eat your fish. They did say they were vegetarian, which definitely is suspicious on its own. I don't think I've ever met a kobold, first of all, that has been so civilized, and second of all, that has been vegetarian.
Yeah, that struck me as suspicious as well.
Vegetarian kobold?
Not in my book. But I could go for it. I mean, we used to have a mean mushroom stew back at the swamp.
So, DM, you said that there was 7 canaries on the statue,
Yes.
and from the knowledge that I would know, that represents Bahamut.
Yeah. That's like.
All right, I'll share that with the group and say I have a feeling that the founder of this island, per se, 1,000 years before man, was Bahamut. The 7 canaries represents his kingly divine, if you will. He was known to actually transform into a human. So my guess is this
From what?
this human,
Like a canary?
Uh,
The canaries
from-
turn into people?
Bahamut was a dragon, a metallic dragon. In fact, the king of the metallic dragons.
How does
my
that
guess
make
is-
you feel?
Confused.
That's a good question, because I mean, I'm not necessarily a believer in all this stuff, though. Although things have been kind of weird since we got it. Did anybody have a vision on the boat?
I saw 7 canaries. And a druid.
You saw 7. Did you really see 7 canaries?
No, they're right there right now.
But I saw a man in a red robe come up and talk to me. I wasn't sure if I was dreaming or just seeing it.
Yeah, it's a coming back.
Yeah, I as well saw a vision, and also of a druid, as you say, as well. There was definitely a nothing I've seen so far has drawn my recollection. But I did also have a mysterious dream.
Well, there was that, and when we got here in that battle, I've never casted any magic in my entire life, ever. And having that shield around me was very strange. I'm not even sure how it got there.
What?
Oh,
Hmm.
that's cool.
Hmm.
Coming into your
Did you
own
read?
there, huh,
It seemed
son?
like you read a spell to get that here. It seemed like you know what you were doing.
Is that like dragon puberty or something?
I don't recall reading any spell.
Well, seems like I'm not sure if we can learn any more from this temple here. I want to go back to that cook, Turok, and ask him more about these sea people.
While you're doing that, Ulfgrim, would you slide him the name Raidoth? Raidoth.
Come again. I'll do my best there. And I smack the old-timey TV on its side.
Waffle, can you explain to me how it is, what is this bullywog? And I mean, when I met you, you weren't doing it. You were just kind of just the servant. Like, is there something else here or something that I should know about you, I guess?
I'm still not so certain myself. I've only been like this maybe under an hour, so I apologize if I can't really say for the moment. Once we get our bearings and maybe spend some time in a hovel, we can figure things out.
Fair enough. Now, also, Ulfgrim, did you notice that? Goddamn, back into the other accent. Did you notice when they said that we had to be here for 3 days? I think the time period was the reason they were a little weird. Did anybody notice that? Nope. So when because they thought that we were going to be here for a day, and then they said we're going to be stuck here for 3 days, and
Boy, it seems
they weren't prepared for it. They said
it does seem like it was unexpected, the amount of time that they would have us here for, but sometimes them's the breaks.
Shit does happen there.
Yeah. Just like our rowboat. We're gonna have to find some way off this fucking rock. So
all right, so I guess we have two options here. We can be heading to we could either be heading to the, I guess we have one option really. It said stay away from the north, and we can go south to Makadas, I think was the name.
Yeah, just point of clarification. They're called Myconids. And if anybody wants to roll to see if they know what that is, I'm fine with it.
Myconids.
I will do that because it very much interests me, being people from the sea or whatever. Also humans, kind of, but not really. What do you want me to do? History, insight.
Do a nature for me, just to.
That's pretty neat.
Can I help him? Can I help him by flashing pictures of
I don't need any help, baby. That's
I would love to see you etch a sketch it.
Non-natural 20. Yeah, it's like an outline. Somehow I rolled an 18 plus 2, so a non-natural 20.
All right. And since Y4 was helping you, I mean, if that's a real thing that you're able to do, to etch a sketch it on you, I'm more than fine with that being a thing too.
For flavor, I mean.
Yeah. What you see on Y4 and what you remember as and I call them Myconids because it reminds me of Matthew McConaughey, so I can't get away from it. But I think they're actually a different pronunciation that Barney was using. But the Myconids, what you know about them is that they are plant-based creatures. They are also telepathic. That
explains why they don't get along with the vegetarians. Am I right?
There you go, right. They do trade. They grow their own fungus. They grow their own mushrooms. They grow spores. They grow stuff like that. But they are pretty peaceful from what you know. But they are also very protective, and they are kind of standoffish when they're skittish.
They were sea people though, and they were humans previously.
No, these are the Myconids, or how did you pronounce it, Barney?
Myconids?
Yeah.
Like Last of Us. Like mushroom.
The leader was Sinessa.
Yeah, the leader is Sinessa. She is not, or he is not a Myconid. He is a sea hag. Or sorry, spawn of a sea spawn.
And where were those people? I thought they were to the south. I thought those were the
South.
Myconids.
Yeah, they're on this island. They're to the south. Yeah.
Okay. How about those ones? Because those were the ones that I was interested in.
Yeah, that's what we were describing was the
Same thing?
Last of Us plant people. Their
They're
leader.
sea spawn?
No, the ones to the south that are plant people. Those are Myconids. The leader of them is a sea spawn, not a
Huh.
Myconid.
Interesting.
Steam
All
Man
right.
rules the plants.
Finessa.
They also have a cave system.
Who has a cave system?
The
Their
Myconids.
group, they live in a cave system.
All right, cool. And I'm going to go and talk to the cook.
I'm gonna open up the map just so y'all can kind of see and just.
Sounds good. I want to make my little journey over here, and I'm continuing to walk, and I go here, and then I go over here. I'm going to stop past the library, take a brief look in, and then I'm going to continue over here to talk to Turok.
Okay. All right, so you walk into the dining hall. If you guys are all following, then that's fine.
Yeah, you're all welcome to join me, but I was walking with intent.
The 10.
Yep. Wafor's following Altos, wherever he's going.
Okay. So in the dining hall, as you get closer to the library, to the dining hall that's right next to it, you do start to get this aroma, and it is a pleasant aroma. It does smell pretty good. You see Tarak, he's in the kitchen portion of it, over a makeshift wood stove. Big, huge pots, 3 of them there to feed everybody, and he's hard at work doing his thing. Has his hair tied up in a tidy little man bun. At the tables, you do see the other human on the island, the big burly buff one with muscles on muscles and scars on scars, and a couple of kobolds that are kind of sitting at the table and just kind of chit-chatting. As you walk in, things get quiet. The female human looks at you and then kind of looks back down. She, too, has seen her days of brooding.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to do just kind of like an acknowledging sup and continue on into Turok. And I want to say, Turok, it looks like you've got your hands full with those pots. Do you need any help?
It depends. Do you know your way around the kitchen there, boyo?
I've seen my my way around the what's the word? The mess of a ship every so often. I've paid my dues in there, helping out with cooking various concoctions there. So you order me around, and I'm glad to help out. But I'm no cook myself.
Got it. Well, that's, you have to learn somewhere, and you might as well learn here amongst the good people of Dragon's Rest. It is nice to speak to, nothing against the kobolds here, but it is good to speak to another of the humankind.
Aye. And then, so, as we're kind of like preparing and he's like ordering me around, I want to start up kind of a casual conversation, be like, say, was talking with that Runara, and she said something about those mushroom fellers down south. Was curious about their sea spawn leader. I believe the name was Sinessa, and you travel down there. What can you tell me about that crew?
They're good people. They're good, well, people may not be the right term for them, but but they are good enough at what they do. Again, he didn't laugh. In game, he did not laugh.
I did. That was
But they are good people. To give you, if they wore clothes, they would give you the shirt off of their back. I've got to know them pretty well. Got to know Sinessa pretty well. He has lived with a curse for most of his life. Did Runara give you tell of his poor history?
not at all, but you've got me curious.
Well, he fits right in with the Myconids. They're the telepaths, and he too, being a spawn of the sea, he too is quite a bit of a telepath. But the closer you get to them, the more they get to know you. But just like everything else on this island, you must be honest, because they can tell when you're not. But poor Sanessa, if you've ever heard tell of Purple Rock, have you heard of Purple Rock?
Purple Rock? I kind of scratch my beard. No, I can't say that I have.
Y4, are you in earshot of all this conversation as well, or no?
I don't know. He said he was working with the cook or something. I was hanging out with Altos. Altos, what were you planning on doing?
I was planning on going to the library.
Okay.
Yeah, then we're probably in the library.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, Ulfgrim, why don't you go ahead and roll it? Let's do a history on this one, just to see if you maybe somewhere in the rumblings of. Yeah.
12.
So let's say that you've heard of the name Purple Rock, but it has no real meaning to you.
Hi, Purple Rock. I've heard the name, but tis no real meaning to me.
I love it. Well, at Purple Rock, it's quite a ways east of here. But what Sanessa has told me is that from a wee babe, he was given to the ocean by his people. And from there, a sea hag drug him onto the water and did some sort of incantation to where it shifted his molecules to the point where he could breathe underwater as well as he could breathe on land. But it took his voice away, much as the tale of the Little Mermaid you might remember, to where he now can live underwater and on land. But it has shifted his body to be a mess of gills and fins and tentacles. He is a sight to see.
Aye, just like the Little Mermaid.
Legends differ from land to land, but
and sea to sea. All right, that's appropriate. I'll continue cooking and say, aye, tis an interesting tale you regaled me with. Say, is that there pot done yet?
Tell you what, these are the last of the fungus that the Myconids had give us. I dare go back down, but I planned on making some health potions for my druid friend on the island. So, if I go back down there, perhaps I'll take your lot with me. But again, that's only if you wish. But
Well,
put the last of
perhaps-
these fungus.
We've got 3 days that we're here on this island before we can expect to be led away. Why don't we go to the Myconids and perhaps even deliver something for your druid friend? Please tell me more about him, perchance.
Well, the druid friend, he's a hermit of a man, bit of crazy of a man, but he means no harm. He lives on the island as well, but half the time you can find him in his hut, in the heart of the island. The other times he's just gallivanting around. But yeah, he could use some health potions. He trades them amongst the kobolds and all as well.
Well, what say ye to us? Maybe perhaps one of these days that we're I don't want to say stuck, but stuck on this here island. We journey down to your fungus friends, perhaps engage in a little barter and trade, and deliver you back some mushrooms, and then maybe I don't know if you got the health potions or whatever, but we do something with the druid.
Okay. All right. Sounds like a wee plan. And he starts gathering these cups or mugs. It's soup's just about on, and spits at each cup and kind of wipes them down. Go put these on the table, and we're almost down for chow.
I gather them up and I go to the table.
And Altos and Y4, while this sanitary A+ menu is being served, what are you guys doing?
I was just gonna look through the library to see if there's any like books on dragons or this battle between the dragons or just the history of the land.
Okay. All right. And then Y4, you're with them as well?
Yeah. Altos, flipping through these here, I'm seeing a dummy's guide to Lovin' Bahamut, the Purple Rock, first edition. That one doesn't look very important. We have here a Radok secret journal, do not open. No, that's not it. What are you looking for?
Honestly, I'd like to see if there's anything in regards to like Tiamat or Bahamut or what was the name of that dragon? One second. It was Sharuth, I think was the name.
Shagrim.
Nah, Sharuth.
Oh,
The one from Session Zero. Is that the one
Yeah.
you're referencing?
Yeah, it was a. From my understanding, I believe it was a red dragon.
I
Yeah,
would
that
like
was
to help Altos look for books.
okay. All right. As you guys go into this library, you've been standing there, the door kind of being kept open by your.
We were just
As you go into the library, the door's closed behind you, and it is just lit by candles. You do see Runara in here. You see Mila in here. But everything that you were listing, Barney, it is within sight. It's a huge room. It's a huge room to them, but it's really no bigger than what you would find a normal mess hall. But they are at this tiny table going over map upon map. 3 different rows of books and whatnot, scrolls, maps, that kind of thing. The first row that I think Altos is at, it's just map after map after map. No real discern. Well, you speak Draconic, right, Altos?
Yep.
So you are able to make out names of it. There's a Sword Coast. Purple Rock is on there. Neverwinter is on there. Waterdeep, just different places that would mean something to you. A couple that mean absolutely nothing to you. Quite a few on Mount Hottenau, and then one that's been kind of shoved off to the side called with the label of Thunder Tree. But that's what's in that row. But the rest of it is just books.
Renara's behind me.
Runara is behind you and Mila are behind you, and they're hard at work, kind of just going through things, putting something together, make a keep pile, get rid of pile.
Say, Runara, these maps here, I noticed Sword Coast, Purple Rock, Thunder Tree. Any of them local to the area? I mean, obviously Sword Coast isn't, but...
Well, Runara, without looking up and still doing her work, acknowledges you without turning around to look at you. Every map here is of the Sword Coast, the waters to the east of us, to the inland of the Neverwinter Woods. This is my domain too. And then she kind of stops herself, but this is the domain that we protect.
But does Purple Rock or Thunder Tree reside in your domain?
Yes.
Both?
Yes.
Do you mind if I take a look at these maps?
Of course, but I do need absolute silence, and I do need to be able to do my research. That way you're able to return to your land as quick as possible with this message. And this is probably the first hint of not agitation, but irritation that you're getting from Runara. Mila hard at work. Mila is, if a dragon can sweat, or if a kobold can sweat, then she's sweating. And they are hard at work, really just trying to get this information.
So I'll take the map of Purple Rock and Thunder Tree, and I'll turn to Y4. Do you mind holding on to these for me, Y4?
Yeah, I just can't get a read on this Runara. Can't get a read on her.
Well, let's see if we can. Hey,
Even in the library, I can't get a read on her.
Love it.
Say, Runara, what do you? Maybe we can help you in your research. Is there something that you're specifically looking for?
No, you cannot help.
Well, we tried.
Can I try? Let me try to persuade her.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I am honestly, I'm a scholar, and I do work for a museum back in Neverwinter, and I feel like I'd be a great assistance to you. And judging by your friend here, I think who's sweating bullets, I feel I would be able to help.
All right, let's see that magnificent persuasion roll.
I rolled a natural 20.
Natural 20.
Nice.
All right, so 20, and you have a +1. So, okay, all right. Mila looks up at you, and she has this anticipation look on her face, like she is just wanting Runara to say yes, because Mila is about 3 miles over her head in what she needs to be doing to help. Runara, again, without looking up, you may assist me by trying to find any book and or scroll and or map that mentions the town of Phandelver.
Good. I will begin. Y4, let's start combing through these books for the town of Phandelver. And do I know anything about Phandelver just from being from Neverwinter?
All of you are from the Sword Coast, and you've been in Neverwinter long enough that you know that there's a little town along the Tribord Trail called Phandelver. It is really just kind of, and maybe Y4 would fit in nicely there, because it is kind of one of those Wild West type of towns. Farms, but really nothing big to that town. There's a rumor that there used to be like a mine around the area, but that's just, it's been a no-go for year upon year after year. Hundreds of years have gone by, and this is just a pass-through town, if anything. So there's really no importance that you can think of. If you would like to roll for anything to see if there's anything, any lore, then you can, but that's the gist.
Well, why don't we look for some books on Phandelver? And if I find anything, I'd like to kind of sift through it first before I hand it over to Runara.
Okay. All right.
Sounds good. I'll check out the dark room. I sure hope our friend Ulfgrim is doing okay, and that he mentioned radar as I so asked. I'll be in the dark room. All right. I'll see you soon.
All right. Heading back over while you're studying. Y4, you're joining Ulfgrim and a room full of kobolds at this point, all sitting down, all eating, sharing, breaking bread. Chitter chatter. Again, when you walk in, it's like here comes a star, that kind of thing. It's like, oh, the chatter gets a little bit more, except for the muscle-bound woman. But even Tarok, to a point, is like, oh, that's a shiny piece of material. I don't know why I'm talking like that, too. God damn you, Fred.
Material.
I take a piece of bread and I pop it into my compartment for just a second, and it pops out perfectly toasted. And I say, Ulfgrim, are you looking just a little bit damper? I hold out the piece of bread.
I reluctantly take the piece of bread and then also realize that he had asked me to do something. And I want to say, like, as I'm kind of like...
Do you look at the bread? The bread says, It has a note on it that says, did you ask?
And like, as I was like, and I'm going to kind of notice, like, I was getting to that. And I'm going to turn over and say, Turok, just floating this out there. I don't know why I'm speaking this way either. Say Turok. Y'all ever heard of Rhydon, feller?
That's the one.
Well, yeah, I thought that we had already discussed it, but yeah, the druid fella, his name, that's Rhydon.
Oh, the druid fella.
It's funny that you know his name. Are you familiar with Rhydon? You know this man.
I turn to Y4 and I say, I believe that some of us are well acquainted, and I'm going to motion towards him. Y4, why don't you tell us what you know about this Rhydon fella?
Y4 does a perfect representation in his Etch-a-Sketch of the memory of this guy, this druid in his robes. Is this the one that we're looking for? I don't know what that was.
But by God, that's a mighty fine representation of my man Rhydon. Yes, I did. I mean, you must have. Do you belong to Rhydon?
Me belong? No, I belong far away from here. No. no.
Oh, well, you seem like something the man would collect. He likes the eccentricities, does Rydolph. But, yeah, but if he is a friend of yours, then if you follow towards the farthest path, as if you were going down to the McConnets, as I was telling your friends, there's a breakaway that goes toward this jagged peak. That's where Rydolph's hut is. And if he's there, then you're in luck. But if not, then it could be days, it could be weeks before he returns.
Much
And
obliged.
you said he might be interested in a trinket such as this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he would have a field day with this, especially who knows what kind of things he can keep inside his compartments there.
I tip him a sand crab.
Well, thank you. He just kind of puts it in his...
I just kind of shrug and go back to eating the bread that had the note on it.
Well, Wyfor, I don't know if you partake in the food or not. My intuition would say no, but
You'd be correct.
I have cooking oil. I don't know. I don't know, Wyfor. I don't know what to give you, but
I don't have
the
the gasoline for you to guzzle down.
You don't need to give me anything.
okay.
What was it? Turok is I haven't been acquainted, but I'm much obliged for the tip, the note, as you say.
Of course, you will find that we are a friendly, loving community, and that we all have our past. We all have our things that we have done. But when you are Dragon's Rest, you are brothers and sisters all. So please keep that in mind.
Of course. Ulfgrim, Altos and I were looking around, poking around through the library. He's poring over maps and archives and such. There was one such that was behind a little case of glass that said, "Do not touch," but I swear I saw him try to stick his finger in there. But given some time, I think he may have something to at least give us bearings for a hike. You said you wanted to take, so I think he's found some trails too.
Oh. Well, that sounds perfect. Perhaps we discuss in our own quarters without a door before we go to sleep. Again, without a door.
Of course, in the hovel.
In the hovel. As has
We
been
must discuss.
aptly described as a hovel and only described as a hovel.
In the hovel, we will discuss this.
Please come see my hovel. It's beautiful.
As you guys are sitting there again, the kobolds are getting more used to you, and it's kind of more back to normal for them. Every once in a while, they'll kind of look over at you, point, or they'll kind of see the etch-a-sketch things happening on your screen, or the vollywog that shows up there, and they
What are they like? Do kobolds like mushroom? I sketch a mushroom out on my chest. Does that?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of them that are looking, they do all that kind of thing. But for the most part, it's just general entertainment. It's like giving
It's an easy crowd.
Exactly, you're giving a 4-year-old a switch, so it's fun.
I sketched a mushroom and got a riot.
You see me
love
here,
this
Scott?
crowd.
I am killing it, Ulfgrim.
Found my crowd.
What's
Also-
the deal with mushrooms?
They're like, I know, right? What's with that?
Altos, while they're over there having the time of their life, what are you doing?
I'm still looking for any mentions of the town of Phandelver and seeing if I find anything.
Okay. All right. So if this were a movie, it's time of your life over here, and then we do a hard cut over to Altos, and it's like perfectly quiet,
Yeah.
except for like Violet clearing the throat, and then it's back over to the. So you are looking, you're finding things, but you're not finding anything that's definitely sticking out to you that you haven't heard before. Yeah, I mean, you're readings about like there was a mine, but it's been undiscovered or destroyed long ago.
While I'm sifting through, I'm keeping an eye out for anything in regards to dragon lore as well. So, do I see anything?
Oh yeah, there's a room completely full of every other book being about dragon lore, about Tiamat, about Bahamut, about the man. Chakra, Chakram, Chagram, and Sharu.
Chakra.
Yeah, I mean, just you see these names jumping out at you, but there's nothing that it's grabbing your attention yet. One more time, and then we won't roll for it again. But do me a favor, and as you're perusing through this stack of books that consistently are like dragon. Enough of these dragons. Do me a favor and roll for investigation as you're looking through one of them.
That would be a 20.
Look at you, dirty
20.
Okay. All right. Through one of the books that's mainly about chromatic dragons, you are seeing that there's pages that look as though they've been folded over, pages that look as though they've been glued together or they've been fastened together. That kind of book. As you slowly start to pull the pages apart,
It has a centerfold.
centerfold rolls out of Tiamat in all their glory. No, there's, but you're able to pull back, and it's like this section that's been purposely stuck together. And what you're seeing are these spells and magical items just listed after another that are all either, from what you can tell, man-made or from another plane, perhaps. The one that catches your eye the most would be a magical item that is supposed to mimic the outer skin of Tiamat, and it's colored in the pages as this where it's like a shiny shimmering red, almost looks like flames that are alive on it. So if you turn the book, it's kind of like movement on the scales of this cloak. What you can barely make out is it says the Cloak of Everfire, and other than that, it's just gives you brief lore.
Do I have any correlation to the person I saw in my vivid dream, if you will?
The cloak looks familiar to you from that dream.
I'm gonna rip off this page and I'm going to put it in my bag.
All right, roll for sleight of hand for me.
Oh Jesus!
You were specifically told not to take anything from the slide.
Yeah, well, I already took the maps. I took the maps and I put them in Y4.
I don't guess I caught that.
Oh no!
But I rolled an 8.
Okay. All right. So Altos, as you're looking at this book and you do one of those, as you tear the page.
Cough and then rip the page.
That is the first time that Runara has looked up as she looks over at you, and in a booming voice. Runara is usually calm. She's usually even till. You hear this booming voice of, "Put it back!"
I was bringing it to you.
She snatches the book from you, the page from you, and puts it on the table. I think it's best if you leave.
I think it's best that I leave.
I will escort him to the dining hall, and Mila takes your hand. That was incredibly stupid, and walks you down to the dining hall.
Mila, did you see anything about the Mines of Phandelver, or did you find anything interesting while you were searching and I was searching?
Why do you mention the Mines of Phandelver?
Oh, just some of the books that I did come across. They mentioned a lost mine of Phandelver.
We should talk again later. For now, why don't you get a meal, get something in your stomach, enjoy the rest of your night. and I know that we will have more information for you in the morrow.
Sounds good. I very much appreciate it. And I will go try to find the rest of my party.
And it is a party.
It is a party. As you walk in, and Mila kind of guides you in, again, she is at this point. She's a little bit paler than than the last time you saw her, and the fear is really in her eyes at this point. As she pushes Altos into this room and is kind of shaking her head before she turns and walks away. But Altos, what you've walked into is the party of a lifetime on Dragon's Rest. Y4 is making all kinds of shit on his Etch-a-Sketch, and
Everybody has a piece of toast.
Everybody has a fucking toast, and the kobolds are just going off at this point. This is the best time that they've ever had, right?
It's like the Ewoks with Princess Leia, Luke, and Han.
They're all yum-nubbing it away.
C-3PO is like,
That's the one. Yum num.
Even muscle-bound female who y'all haven't talked to yet she's kind of nodding her head and
Nods in approval.
nods in approval.
I love it.
Ulfgrim and Wat4, would you guys like to go back to our quarters and maybe get settled in for the night?
Oh, what? Oh, you mean the hovel?
Yes, the doorless room.
The doorless hovel.
Doorless,
Oh,
windowless.
Doorless, windowless. I can about journey out. One, let me and I'm gonna motion kind of like with my eyes towards the ebony winch.
Mhm.
The winch.
She prefers winch grinder, but
Winch grinder.
even you.
All right, I'm gonna walk over to her and say, quite a fun night, wouldn't you agree?
I would. I haven't seen the kobolds behave in such a manner ever before, so this has been enjoyable. With no smile.
Yeah, glad to hear. There's there's only a handful of humans in this here enclave. What's if you don't mind my asking? What's your
No.
story?
I don't mind you asking. We have it's part of the process here to unburden ourselves, and part of unburdening ourselves is telling our tales. So
Well, tell your tale.
tell it in, woman. Can't you see I'm damp and moist waiting?
Just in anticipation. Wink.
Tell it, winch.
So she
Operator.
she chugs back her seawater mixture with seaweed in it and slams it down on the table. Are you empty over there, Fred?
Nice.
Filled an entire bottle away. Jesus Christ.
I was what you would call a highway woman. I was a bit of a thief, bit of a murderer, bit of the lowest of the low lives before I came here. Was aboard a ship that happened to be coming to the island for the riches that in the underworld they say are on this island, and like many before and many after, the ship sank and I was saved. Why, I don't know, but I was, and after meeting Miss Runara, my ways have changed, and anything I can do to protect, I will.
How old does she look?
Mid-60s-ish.
Sorry, tell me, how long ago did your ship wreck here?
Well on 2 decades, I would say.
2 decades.
That's 20 years to you and me.
Yeah, thank you. 1 score, as my brother Lincoln would say. Have you heard of another shipwreck that was prior to ye by twice as long? By a single amount as long. Twice as long ago.
If
Perhaps
you're
40
meaning,
years.
I like the way you speak.
I have been called a poet.
For twice as long and half a score, and you must be speaking of the ship at the tip of our island. It's said to be
Must I?
What's that?
Haunted.
Haunted, yes. It's I was in the winch house when I saw the zombies come upon you. Sorry. When I saw the zombies attack. It's late. When I saw the zombies attack, I was in the winch house, and I was making my way down to help you when I saw the impressive tentacle spell that someone cast and dragged them back out to sea. But for about the last 40 years since the crash, since the shipwreck of and I don't know the name of the ship, but it was part of the Lord's Alliance fleet that hit something, jagged rock, something is so the stories are told. Blep, he would know more than me, honestly. He's the one who has gone down the deepest into this jagged area to kind of peep what's been going on there. There's legends of that's why zombies attack this island, that any ship that crashes nearby, the zombies are drawn to this place. What I've heard from Blep and the predecessors before Blep, is that there must be something untamed in the bowels of the shipwreck that are causing this nefarious zombie infestation. But again, that's lore. Who knows?
And tell me as well, who is this Blep feller?
Well, Blep, that's Mila's little brother.
Of course. Kind of looking around at all the kobolds that might be left here, the ones that have gone up, and you're like, of course. Well,
he is never too far from Mila. If he's easy to recognize, he is about 2.5 feet tall. He either will have a shield made out of a tortoise shell or a wooden stick. And it's funny that you would mention the shipwreck, but Blep swears that the sword that he has crafted is an identical replication of something he's seen aboard this ship. But how a kobold of his size could even make it on that ship, let alone get on the ship and can return, would be beyond fantasy. So we believe Blep to be quite a bit of a liar.
I'm sure he is. Young kobolds, we all know how their imagination goes. Well, I appreciate, and remind me of your name, you young lass. What was her name? I just know it's the wench person.
Yeah. Well, you haven't asked my name, but my name is Varnoth.
Varnoth. Varnoth. Well, pleasure to meet ye. Name's Ulfgrim, Storm Reaver.
I knew that you were Ulfgrim. Word travels fast. I know that your cylinder friend is a Y4, and then the dragon man is an Altos.
More of a sphere than a cylinder, but I'll give it to you.
So she kind of slams the table, stands up, and said, well, I think it's so
well, that's about my time.
Great conversation, but...
All right, well, I will withdraw and return to the hovel, doorless hovel.
The sanctity of your hovel.
The sanctity of my doorless hovel.
Are all of you guys headed back there, or does anybody else want to break and enter or steal anything?
I'm heading to bed.
Carrying the shame of already being caught.
All right. As you guys are walking to your hovel, Y4, as you're rolling along, kind of checking out everything, do me a favor. You guys see kobolds that are like taking supplies out of the room that they're going to be giving to you. And say, we're making it as comfortable as we can for you. Just let us know if you need anything. You can't knock on our door because no door, but if you just stick your head in, let us know. We'll be happy to bring you anything you need. But off to the side, do me a favor. You see a young kobold, Y4, and he's got like a makeshift shield and sword, and he's kind of messing around with the statue that he was cleaning earlier. But he's also got something like stuffed into a belt. To the untrained eye, let's say that it just looks like an arrow. But can you do me a favor? Can you roll for...
I know it's all bad.
No. For this one, let's go ahead and let's just roll for perception. We'll just do a straight perception for you.
Okay. That's a 5.
Okay.
My passive is 12. Actually, It's 10.
Okay. All right. Your passive is 10?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, we'll go with passive then. You do recognize that it is in fact an arrow, a jagged like shaped arrow. But what's distinctive about it are the feathers. The feathers on this arrow are pretty recognizable for anybody who has lived on the Sword Coast or has traveled along the Tribor Trail. And as you see this arrow, you start registering in your databanks a conversation from earlier where it said the inhabitants of this island are the Myconids. They are the kobolds. And that other than that, there's not a whole lot of other species that really are on this island. You remember that conversation because as you see this arrow and its distinctive red feathers, those feathers are distinctive because they belong to a tribe of goblin called the Cragmaw Goblin.
Red feathered arrow? Of what was the tribe called? Sorry?
Cragmaw?
Cragmaw. Goblins. Is this something that I'm just kind of clocking? Or I think I'll clock it for the moment. Do I recognize? Is this Blep who has the arrow, or is it just some random?
It's Blep.
All right. Okay. I'm just gonna clock it as we're on our way back to the hovel, so that I can bring it up.
All right. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to do?
Yeah, as we're entering the hovel, I would like to check in with Altos, if possible. Did you find anything useful
Well,
in your
I found.
library?
Well, what I found was that they are searching for the lost mind of Phandelver, and I did speak with what is her name? Mila, I believe her name is, and she said that we can talk more in depth tomorrow on it and if they found anything. So I'm interested to have a conversation with her. Also, you got the maps, right?
I clang and then I start just sketching. I have memory of a few of them. I'm sorry. Error. No maps detected.
Well, what was the 2 maps that we found? It was
Purple Rock and Thunder Tree. Oh, I suppose I've still got it. Oh wow.
I'll look over to I'll look over to Alfgrim. Does Purple Rock or Thunder Tree ring a bell for you?
I'll scratch my beard and say, "Aye, Purple Rock. I do believe that speaking with Turok, he mentioned Purple Rock. It has significance to the beaconed leader, the fungal sea person, sea spawn."
Sea spawn.
Sea spawn.
For the Myconids?
The Myconids, yeah. Fungal people. But there's a sea spawn. He's cursed and he leads the Myconids. He was given there by his people to a sea hag. And was cursed. But also was given terrible ocean powers.
So wait, they're not peaceful?
No, they're peaceful, but I guess his people sacrificed him there. I didn't ask too many questions. He seemed like he was regaling about the story.
Y4 gave me toast. I don't know what you want from me.
Well,
We were planning. Oh, sorry, Y4. Go ahead.
Oh no, it's fine. I happen to remember something you were asking me. I remember that where I'm from a swamp. And I also remember, I don't know if any of y'all caught this prior, but there aren't that many species here on this island. And Blep, the little one, the runt of the little skin, he seemed to have a distinctively red-feathered arrow of the Kragmaw goblins. Now, I don't know if this all ties into that vision we shared, but Durak also seemed to point us in a direction. So, I suppose the question is, what would you like to do?
I was talking with the old winch operator, and she said that Blip, the brother to Mila, knows more about that shipwreck. Do you remember the story of the shipwreck that we were all regaled with before we came here, perhaps in a session 0?
Riveting.
The shipwreck that happened 40 years ago. Apparently it crashed on the north side of the island, and Blep seems as though he's visited there, despite the fact that it's haunted, and those zombies that we saw earlier may be related to it. So, some curious happenings surrounding
We should see if we can corner him in the morning.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why don't we have a conversation with Blip, and then also have a conversation with Mala, and maybe head over to. We can head over to, what is it, the south? I think it's the
south has the Myconids. On the way, we can hit up the Druid, which I found out is related to this Rydoth character that you know.
Perfect.
Which may or may not be the Druid from our dream.
Awesome. Maybe he can help with everything.
A lot of puzzle pieces here, but we're starting to put them together.
Slowly pushing.
I'm glad someone's taking notes.
Fair enough. So why don't we do this? Why don't we get a night's rest, long rest? You just must be specific with this.
Not a short rest, but something of 8 or so hours to fully recover our hit points and or spell slots.
Yes.
I'm just saying, that's what happens here.
If this was a game.
I would feel fully recovered, and if I did have some metaphorical slot for my spells, they would be replenished. As would be any hit points.
So why don't we have a long rest here? In the morning, why don't we talk with this Mila and Blip just a little bit more, and then maybe we head over to we go check out where this druid is first on the way to the Myconids, or whatever you call them.
I like this plan. And if we're getting technical, I have something called a sentry's rest. Excuse me. When I take a long rest, I spend at least 6 hours in an inactive, motionless state instead of sleeping. So I just shut down.
It was a pleasure traveling with you. All right, all right. Well, as you guys have been talking and boring each other with tales of Purple Rock and where the fuck is Thunder Tree and all these other conversations that are going on, Y4 very nonchalantly tells you he's going to go into sleep mode and just shuts down, leaving Ulfgrim and Altos to kind of get as comfortable as they can in this hovel, as y'all have called it, this doorless and windowless hole in a wall, until you do finally get to a place where you, without even realizing it, have fallen asleep. The last thing that you would have seen as you're starting to drift into sleep is little Blep out there still messing around with his sword and his shield as he's sparring with this 15-foot tall statue, and then you fall asleep. And for now, we will end session 1 right there. Boop-a-da-boo. Such is the tale as our Wild West adventure.
Yarha!
Yarr. Thank
All
you.
right. If you are still watching this for some ungodly reason, and if you've made it this far into our session 1 of Twisted Fates, then congratulations, you're that one weird person just like us, and you should come join the dark side of Nerd Night News. Tell a friend about all the fun shenanigans we had, about our moist friend Ulfgrim, and our friend Y4 who has nipple knobs, and Altos who switches from Southern gentleman to British scallywag. So for tonight and session 1, this is the Party Poopers, Freddie, Eric, Firewall Activated, and Terry Mayo saying adieu.